Hi there, Dave here. I'm going to walk you through the $1 Million Plus framework. The quickest way I know to get you to $1 million or more as a business owner while freeing up time in your calendar. There are two things we'll cover: the key phases in the journey. What's the path to $1 million plus look like? And what are the key pieces of your planning, your execution, and your systems that will allow you to consistently add $10,000 a month and free up 10 hours a week? I've done this for me. I've done this for more than 100 clients, and I want to help you do it too. So stay tuned, and I'll show you how it works. Growing your business looks a lot like this. There are phases of growth. Below $10,000 a month, and you're in the build phase of your business. In a sense, you're kind of in survival. One bad month, and you're in trouble. Once you're consistently generating $10,000 a month, you move to the grow phase of your business. And above $85,000 a month, that's the $1 million a year level. You're in the scale phase of your business. Now, within the growth phase, there are levels too. And every time you hit a new level, something breaks or needs to be tweaked. And for the past 20 years, I've been helping business owners level up their business from the build phase through the grow phase to the scale phase and beyond, $10,000 a month at a time. People like Dan, who I coached for over 6 years, and he said, "Dave helped me transform my business from fair to wonderful, all while having a real life to enjoy." And people like Carolyn, who said, "Working with me changed the life of her and her family. And for the first time in her career, she feels as if she can truly balance work and home." And people like Hans, who doubled his sales and was able to spend more time with his family. I've helped more than 100 business owners get to $1 million or more. So let me show you how we do it. But before I do, if you've seen enough and you want to see what it would look like to work together, click the link below and schedule a triage call. We'll take a look at where you are in your business, where you want to go, and what it would look like to work together to get there. This is the $1 Million Plus framework model. And when you started your business, you wanted to make more money, you wanted to have more freedom, and you wanted to have a greater impact. The most important thing in this model is right here. It's my goal for you. Now, if this isn't your goal, you should probably click out of this video and find someone else. The goal is this: wherever you currently are, we want to focus on getting you an additional $10,000 a month and free up 10 hours a week, because that's how you scale. You level up $10,000 a month at a time, while at the same time freeing up your time. So your business gets bigger and your life gets better. More money, more freedom, more impact. So I've got a question for you. Does that connect with you right now? If so, if more money, more freedom, and greater impact are your goals, then this is a conversation worth having. Stick with me to the end, and let's get after it. There are 3 things that get in the way of adding $10,000 a month and freeing up your time, of getting to the $1 Million Plus practice. Number 1, growth stalls. Number 2, you start to experience execution bottlenecks. And number 3, you run your business by Band-Aid. Stalled growth, execution bottlenecks, and business by Band-Aid. Are any of those true for you right now? Well, let's talk about the solution then. If growth is stalled, our job is really simple. We need to drive growth. We need to get crystal clear about where we're going and what we're doing. If growth is happening, but things are backing up, there's an execution bottleneck. And the solution to that is we need to lead boldly. We need to be the driver of your business, not the engine. And if the challenge is that business is becoming complex because we've solved all the problems with Band-Aid fixes, then what we need to do is systemize so we can simplify and scale. We want to get to a place where the results of your business are not dependent on you or your time. They're dependent on the system you have in place. When we're driving growth, leading boldly, and systemizing to scale, the business gets simple again. And that's really what we're after. So what I want to do right now is walk you through the how-tos and show you some of the missions I run with my clients to help make this happen. Because if I can show you 1 + 2 + 3 drives more growth, and that's a core problem for you, then I want to show you how that can work. And if I can show you how 4, 5, and 6 allow you to lead more boldly, now you're driving the business instead of everything running through you as the engine. And if I can show you how 7, 8, and 9 allows you to systemize your business so that you can actually scale and double your profitability without more work, more time, or more expense, or how you can actually double your profitability without even focusing on revenue, then you have a system that can work for you. So let me walk you through it. I'm going to give you a couple of examples, but the most important thing here isn't that you learn a model. The most important thing is that we use this like a 3D scan of your business, a diagnostic, kind of like an X-ray. For each one, I'll tell you what it is, I'll show you a quick example, and then I'll ask you a question. And I want you to score yourself like you're at a traffic light. For each question, you're either going to be green, you're going to say, hey, this is a real strength for us. You're going to be yellow, you're going to say, it's okay, but we could use an upgrade. Or you're going to be red. This is a real problem for us and it could use some work. Once we've got all the colors mapped out, we're going to diagnose your business. And this is the first thing that we need to work on together. Okay? You good? Good. Now, if you want to take a deeper assessment of where your business stands, I have a 15-question diagnostic. It'll take you about 3 minutes to complete, and it'll give you immediate feedback in each of the areas with some next steps. But for now, let's get started on the model. The first problem to solve is stalled growth. And we're going to do that, like I said, by driving growth. And the first thing we need to do to drive growth is define direction. The clearer your direction, the easier your decisions. The clearer your direction, the more likely you are to hit your targets. And the clearer your direction, the faster you'll grow. One of the core tools we use for this is a North Star map. This tool will give you a vision statement and, more importantly, a structured snapshot of your business for the next 3 to 5 years. So the question I have for you is this. When you think about the direction of your business, are you crystal clear on where you want to be in the next 3 to 5 years and why that matters to you? If you're absolutely clear and excited about where you're going, that's a green. If you have a pretty good idea, but it's a little fuzzy, or you're not waking up every day excited to move in that direction, that's a yellow. And if you're not at all clear, or you just hate where you're going, that's a red. I'm going to mark that yellow here because it's been my experience that most people have only a vague idea of where they want to go, but you mark it for whatever is true for you. Okay, number 2, let's assume we have a very clear direction. We know where we're headed and we're excited about it. Now what? Well, we need to create some compelling targets to hit along the way. These are not goals, they're targets, and that's for a very specific reason. In 20 years of coaching people, I've seen people put way too much weight on a goal. And we set these big goals, and then if we don't hit them, we're disappointed in ourselves, in our business, and we start to get discouraged. Or if we do hit them, they're not super fulfilling, and we say, is that all there is? A target's different. When you set a target and you miss it, no big deal, shoot again. When you set a target and you hit it, great, pat yourself on the back, then move the target. So the key to this is that there's specific measurable targets that you can see, and they're achievable for your business. Not too far off in the distance that we can't see it, not so close that it's too easy to hit. The key is it's about where you want your business to be in a year, and you should be excited about it. The tool we use to set these targets, the one-page game plan. So let's think about your targets. And the question I have for you is twofold. Again, it's a red, yellow, or green question. Do you have a measurable target for the next year? Not 10, 1. Do you have one clear and measurable target for the next year? And is it compelling? And if you hit it, will it move you in the right direction? So right now, take some time and score yourself, red, yellow, or green based on your target. Mark it down. Let me know what you came up with. For most business owners, I'm going to call it a yellow. Now on to step 3 in driving growth, and that is launching exciting missions. Your missions move you to your target, so we need to be taking action on that every week, and that's what missions are for. Every single week, you need to know exactly what to do, and this is most important, that what you're doing is actually helping you hit your target, not just keeping you busy. The tool we have for this is the mission map. It actually maps out your weekly execution plan for the next 6 weeks. I got a question for you. You guessed it, red, yellow, green. When it comes to your execution, do you know exactly what you're going to accomplish each week? And are you taking the right steps to move you forward each day? Or are you busy and hoping? Red, yellow, green, mark it down. For me, in coaching people for 20 years, what I see with most people is they have an idea of where they want to go, but they're not super good at doing what they need to do each day. They're busy and they're hoping, and frankly, they're tired. So I'm going to mark that one red. You mark it what's true for you. When we're clear on our direction, have compelling targets to keep us motivated, and take directed action every day, We start to drive growth, and we're on our way to an extra $10,000 a month and freeing up 10 hours a week. But what typically happens when we're driving growth is that we create more business than we can handle, and our execution starts to hit a bottleneck. When that happens, we need to change the way we lead the business. And what we really need to do is lead boldly. To do that, the first thing we need to do is to shift identity. Most successful business owners are grinders, and they're successful because they do the work necessary to get to where they are. But at a certain point, you can only do so much. And what got you to this level isn't going to get you to the next level. So we need to change the way you think about the way you do business. We need to shift our identity. And the key here is we need to move things off your plate to somewhere else. That somewhere else is either delegating to other people or systemizing and automating what you used to do. So you're shifting to being the driver of your business, not the engine. And the tool we use for this is the Leadership Shift Worksheet. Try saying that 3 times fast. It helps you identify how you need to lead, the obstacles getting in the way, and then the steps you need to make the shift. So red, yellow, green time. Are you more the engine or the driver of your business? If you're almost all engine, that's red. If you're half and half, it's yellow. And if you're full driver, that's green. Here's the real question. Could you take a month away from your business and have your business run without you? If so, green. If not, you're either red or yellow. Most people I talk to are somewhere in the middle, so I'm going to mark it yellow. For you, it might be red. For you, it might be green. Mark it about what's true for you and your business. Now, as we shift from engine to driver, the key for us is how we lead. We need to lead like only we can, and that's about leveraging your strengths. Most people make the mistake of following advice from somewhere else or reading about how to lead their business in a book. And then they start to operate from someone else's playbook, and everything becomes harder, and your team actually becomes resistant. What we really want to do is lean into your natural strengths, your gifts, and your abilities, and make sure your team and your systems fill in the gaps where you're not naturally strong. The tool we use for this is a strength-based assessment that shows us how you see the world, what your natural work style is, what your natural sales style is, and what your 5 or 6 key motivators are. And when we know this, we can build the business from your strengths, and you can lead like only you can. And if you do this, life gets easy. Everyone on your team knows what to do. You enjoy your role, and everything's great. If you don't, things get frustrating. People aren't clear on what they're supposed to do, and you're doing things that you're not naturally good at. So the question I have when it comes to leading like only you can, are you leaning into your natural gifts and abilities, surrounded by people who have natural gifts and abilities that are different from yours but complement you? Or do you have systems in place that allow you not to do the things that you don't enjoy or you're not good at? Or do you find that you're trying to force a round peg into a square hole? Mark yourself red, yellow, green. Truthfully, this is the biggest challenge to the execution bottleneck. People are too focused on leading from someone else's playbook instead of leaning into their natural gifts. Most people are red here, but you put whatever it is for you, red, yellow, or green. So we've shifted our identity from engine to driver. We're leading like only we can. What do we need to do next? Well, what we need to do next is consistently raise the standard. We want to raise the standard for ourselves. We want to raise the standard for our team. We want to raise the standard for our business. And we even want to raise the standard for our clients. The tool we have for this one is the one-page leadership reset. This tool allows you to ensure that you have clear standards in place right now, and it allows you to define the next level standards and raise them consistently over time so that everybody's performance improved and your time is freed up. When it comes to standards, mark yourself where you are right now. If you have clear standards, but not a process to improve them consistently, you're a yellow. If you don't have clear standards, you're a red. And if you have clear standards and you're continually raising them, you're a green. I'm going to mark green here, probably just because I think we need a green on the board, but you put whatever it is for you. Once we're intentional about the leadership identity we want to adopt, and we're leading in a way that only we can, and we're consistently raising the standards, what you'll find is you're leading boldly and the execution bottleneck starts to free up. At this point, the biggest challenge now becomes doing business by Band-Aid. You're busy and you're growing and problems still come up. And the way we tend to fix them is we put a little Band-Aid here and a little duct tape there. And all of a sudden we've created this complexity in our business. And when we see that we've created this complexity, this business by Band-Aid, What we need to do is systemize to scale. Our first job in systemizing to scale is to focus on impact over effort. We want to prioritize impact. Most people are busy. They're giving effort, but they're busy with low priority activities. We want to focus on high priority activities. I call these activities profit accelerators, and there are 12 of them. We want to make sure that most of your systems are focused on these 12 levers. The tool we use is profit acceleration. It helps us to make 1 to 3% improvements across the 12 profit accelerators. And when we do, those small improvements give us an exponential impact. In fact, we can typically double your profit with a 1 to 3% improvement in each of these 12 areas, even if revenue holds steady. Imagine that, doubling your profit while revenue stays the same. So I want you to rate yourself here. Red, yellow, or green. Are you focused on a day-to-day basis on the things that increase your profitability, or are you reacting to your clients, your team, and the market? I'm putting red here because that's where I see most businesses. You put the right color for you. We're getting close. We're getting close to turning this diagnostic into a tool you can use to grow your business. Next, we want to shorten our work cycles. Most of us have indefinite work cycles. The work never stops. There's no finish line. But that works against how we're naturally wired and how we're designed to work. The truth is this, about 50% of all of us are natural finishers. We're not great at starting, but if we have a clear deadline and we see the finish line, we'll get it done. About 50% of us are natural starters. We are great at starting things, but we get bored, and after a little while, we start looking for something else to start. So we have a lot of unfinished work. If we shorten our work cycles, those of us that are finishers can always see the finish line, so we keep moving. And those of us that are starters, well, we can start, work long enough to get something done, but not too long that we get bored, and then we get to start something else. Can you tell I'm a starter? The key is we want to shorten our work cycles, and the perfect amount of time is 6 weeks. 6 weeks is short enough for finishers to see the finish line and long enough to get something done. And it's long enough for the starters to get something done and short enough to be able to start again. The tool we use for this, we've already talked about it. It's the mission map. And part of the mission map is to take one of the 12 profit accelerators in your business and to focus on a 1 to 3% improvement over the next 6 weeks. So red, yellow, green. Red if you have no defined work cycles, yellow if your work is about 90 days, and green if you have clearly defined short work cycles. Most people are yellow to red. I'm going to mark it yellow just to be nice. You do what's right for you. Now, the last step in systemizing to scale is to assess and refine. You'll notice we keep talking about these 6-week cycles. And on the 7th week, we take some time to assess, refine, and reset. On the 7th week, we pick the system that we're going to look for a 1 to 3% improvement on in the next 6 weeks. And if you look at that rhythm, you have a 6-week cycle, then you have 1 week off to assess and refine. By the way, that's a great time to take a little vacation. And then after we've taken some time off to assess and reset, we've identified the next lever we're going to improve, and we work on that for the next 6 weeks. That's 13 weeks. 13 weeks is a quarter of your business. And so as we go through this process, essentially 8 times a year, we're improving one area of your business 1 to 3%. We're taking a week off. That's how you add an additional $10,000 a month and free up 10 hours a week. So it's time to rate yourself. Are you taking time every 6 weeks to refresh yourself, reassess your business, and re-engage with where you want to go? Red, yellow, green. What is it for you? I'm going to say yellow. But again, in my experience, most business owners are red in this area. You mark what's true for you. Okay, let's pause here. Here's what we've got. We've got a 3D scan of your business. We've got a map on what's going well, the greens, what could be better, the yellow, and a map of some of the critical areas that need improvement right now, the reds. You're going to have some greens, probably. You're going to have some yellows, probably, and you're going to have some reds. Don't worry about it. It's just a diagnostic of where you are right now, and it's what we do with it that matters most. So as you look at this map, which 3 of the levers could we pull that would have the biggest impact on your business over, say, the next 30, 60, or 90 days? Circle those 3 that would make the biggest difference for you. Take some time. Do it right now. All right. Guess what we've just done? We've just identified your biggest constraints. And behind each one of these areas are a set of tools, a set of systems to help you improve and grow your business. Regardless of wherever you are right now and whatever your constraint is, the systems are simple. We've got some systems, some tactics, some tools, some playbooks to help you grow your business and free up your time wherever you are. So if you want to find out more about working with me to install them in your business, there's a link in the description below. What we'll do is we'll schedule a triage call. And on that call, we'll take a look at your biggest constraints. We'll make sure you have a plan to break through them. And we'll talk about what it would be like to work together. And if it's a good fit for you, and if it's a good fit for me, then obviously we'll work together. And if it's not, we won't. But at least you'll have a plan to improve your business. I wish you all the best, and I'll see you on the triage call.